What's that? Make money while you sleep. Today we're taking the next steps in real estate. You guys are out there building houses, but I'm gonna show you how to build your own income producing property. Today, we happen to be, one example that I love is self-storage. Come inside, I'm gonna tell you exactly how it's done, but I'm gonna tell you why you should be investing in yourself. What is passive income? Passive income is money that automatically comes in that you don't have to actively work for. You guys actively have to go out and build those homes and get those clients. Wouldn't it be nice to literally make money while you sleep? This guy paying you money, this guy paying you month after month after month. I'll show you exactly how to do that. Wouldn't it be nice just to have $1,000 a month coming in, positive cash flow? Maybe replace, and this is my goal for you guys, to replace your current salary or whatever you're making in your building business with money that automatically comes in. I'll show you exactly how to do it. I didn't start with a storage facility. I started with a 6-unit apartment building, which went terrible. We'll get into that, right? You can do this concept with duplexes and triplexes. I had a very bad experience in the beginning with a 6-unit apartment building, and I immediately got out of it. I started to see these storage facilities popped up, and I bought a piece of land, baby steps. I made $200,000 on a flip. I kept it, and I put a deposit down on a $150,000 lot. I was able to build a storage facility. It was a $1 million project. I was 29 years old. I know that seems like a lot, but I did baby steps. I bought the land and I did it in phases, and turned out very shortly, ended up replacing my current salary. Again, baby steps going in. So let's take it from the beginning. I'm gonna break it down, how to get the land, how to build a piece of passive income property, what it takes, all the engineering from the beginning to the end. So stay tuned. All right, now when I talk about a storage facility and these numbers, they may seem very overwhelming, but I keep saying the word baby steps. I took a piece of raw land, just like here. The lot was on the market for $150,000. It had no approvals for what I wanted, self-storage facility. So what I did was I put a deposit. I said, I will buy this piece of land contingent upon me getting site plan approval, meaning the town would approve this site for 25,000 square foot storage facility in that case. So I gave the seller $20,000. I put $20,000 on the land. I locked it up for 6 months with a 6-month extension, and I had to go get engineer drawings and I had to go get site plan approval. Let me show you what that's like. I got the piece of land. So to get site plan approval, you're gonna need a full set of architectural drawings. Basically what they do is they take the existing lot and they map it out. And then they're gonna map out what you wanna build there. In this case, we had 4 buildings. We had the setback. They had a bunch of rules of setbacks that they had to follow. And this takes a couple months to get these drawings because there's many of them. There's a lighting and landscaping drawing. There is a grading drawing. Where's the water gonna flow to? Are there inlets? This probably seems so overwhelming. I was 29 years old. I had no idea how to do this. But again, baby steps. I asked questions. You've heard me a million times ask questions. The woman at the front desk at the township building, she said, hey, try this engineer. I went there, he gave me an outline, and I went along, and it took me 6 months. But at the end, I had these plans. I submitted these plans to the town. The town sat up, kind of like a court case. They looked at it. I needed a couple variances. Boom, 7 out of 7 people approved it. And now I took this piece of land, and now it was approved for 25,000 square feet of self-storage. That lot went from $150,000 to $400,000 with the approvals. And guess what? I didn't even buy it yet because it was contingent upon site plan approval. I only had $20,000 on the lot, and I had about $30,000 to $35,000 in these plans. What's next? Well, you gotta break ground. We are back at my storage facility, but before I broke ground, I knew nothing about self-storage, the business. I would drive by them, they were appealing, but one of the greatest things I found was a company called Trachty out of Wisconsin, and they did these seminars where you would go for the day and they would teach you everything. They would teach you how to clear the land, how to level the land, how to pour the pad, how the pads had to be pitched, and how to erect the buildings. These guys are a metal supplier. They recommended a erector, and once you're done clearing the land and once you're done pitching everything, now remember the asphalt's not here, you're gonna pour a concrete pad. It was so easy. These buildings, that building right there went up in 7 days. That building went up in like 10 days. I built this entire storage facility in probably 3 weeks as far as vertical progress from the pads going up. Guys, you're home builders. I'm telling you right now, this was the easiest thing I ever built. So I got educated and they walked me through the whole process. Now that was in between, right, when I got my site plan approval and I was able to build. Let's talk about financing. How did I get funding? Well, I had this project budgeted through the help of Tracti, through their seminars, of about $1 million. It was about $150,000 to buy the land, and it was about another $850,000 to do the site work and build the building. Bank said, no, we're not giving it to you. And I said, well, why? It's not proven, you don't have rentals, but here's what we will do. You put your 200 in first, pay for the land, first 50,000 will go to construction. Then what we could do is we'll phase it. You can build one building. You get that rented, we'll give you the next block of money. And then you build that one, we'll give you the next block of money. So all this can seem very, very overwhelming in the beginning. But if you just go one step to the next, get there. Don't decide right in the beginning that you can't do it just because you don't have the financing, or you don't know anything about the self-storage business, or you don't know anything about site engineering plans. I knew nothing about it. Hang in there. That's how I was able to build. Again, it was the help of Tracti and their seminars and all their education as we were building as well. Quick tip on financing. You may say, hey, a bank's not gonna fund me. I got lucky the first time because they took a chance. I knew the banker from, ironically, some of the spec houses that I did. But I built another facility, storage facility, about 3 years later, and I wasn't in that situation. The market wasn't that great. I still had a great piece of property. I built the storage facility. I borrowed privately from a private investor. Rates back then were probably 5-6%. I borrowed at 12%, much more, but what happened? I got private cash to build the property. I filled it to 80%, and guess what happened? I had 3 bankers in line because now it's an income producing piece of property. They're not just going to rely on you and your tax returns, they're gonna rely on the facility and all the rentals and all the income that's coming in. So just because something might be not obtainable, you can break it down with private investors. Again, baby steps, you can get there. All right, so what does this all look like on paper? How do I make money, Steve? Well, it's not that simple, but it is relatively easy. We're gonna go inside. I'll take the revenue, which is the rents and all your expenses, and what you should be netting. We're going to talk about financing too, what the bank loan looks like, and what that bottom line is. All right, let's look at the numbers and what the income versus the expenses would be on a storage facility. Once you open, think about it, guys, you have 200 units that I had. I had 205 units, and I had no renters. Then I had 1, then I had 2, then I had 3, and I was averaging about 20 to 25 a month. It took me about 6 months to get to about 80% occupied, and that's the magic number that all the banks want to get you there. We did through marketing, we did through social media. We networked with moving companies and apartment buildings, so we did lease it up very quickly in 6 months. So once it's leased up, this is an income statement. It's going to start with the revenue. Revenue at that time was $21,000. All those rents added up to that. We also put in our pro forma here, a 10% vacancy. You can't bank on it being 100% lease, so we did a 10% vacancy at $2,000. So it netted $19,000 a month. Our taxes, insurance, manager, electric, water, sewer, maintenance, landscaping, reserves added up to a little bit under $10,000, $9,885. The net operating income before any debt, any bank, is $9,115. That's how every property, commercial piece of property, gets evaluated. What is your NOI? What is your net operating income? In this case, $9,115. My loan payment on the 800, remember, this was $1 million project. I did it in baby steps. $1 million was a lot of money to me when I was 29, but it wasn't $1 million, it was like 400, and then it was 600. So as I rented, they went with me with funding. Net operating income, 9,115. Loan payment, $800,000, $5,300. I made a profit of almost $4,000 a month. So what did I do? I put $200,000 into this project, and it wasn't easy. It was a very long process as far as waiting to get the approvals for the land, getting through that site plan approval with the help of a land use attorney, going to the board, getting an engineer, breaking ground, getting educated through Tracti, through all their seminars, getting the right site contractor, going and finding out who's gonna pour the concrete. A lot of these guys I had just from building the home, so use those resources. $3,814, it's almost $4,000 a month, almost $50,000 a year. So think about it. I put a lot of time and sweat equity into it, but I put $200,000 of my spec home money And I was making $50,000 a year off that. Do this twice, it's $100,000. Do it 3 times at 150, do it 4 times, and which I did, it's $200,000. That's the goal, to replace your current salary. I've been saying it all throughout the video. Yes, build custom homes, be that builder, make that active income. This is the goal, passive income. And do the other stuff because you want to, not because you have to. And in speaking about doing what you want to do, remember, I started with, just like you, building a house, flipping houses, building a new single family house, and then along the way I was doing those spec houses for this purpose. I talk about a snowball effect. What did that do? Well, that $200,000, this cost $1 million, that project we were talking about, it was recently appraised for $2.5 million. So that's what happens over a period of time. You start to get that wealth as rents go up. So does the value of the piece of property. What also I did, I built another one and then another one. And I have currently 5 income producing properties, and it really has allowed me to do other things. I visited this island on an innocent vacation a year ago. I met a builder. I wanted to build a little house here. That's all to escape from everything was gonna be my little happy spot. I met the builder, I met the owner. Now I have this island from here to here under contract, and I also bought the hotel right next to it. Guess what? An income producing property. Wouldn't you rather be doing this than storage facilities? Not that they're bad, but look at this. I don't need this. I'm doing this because I can. It's a great project. The builder doesn't need it. I don't need it. We have a great synergy together. So again, it starts with a snowball. This may be way out of your league of thinking right now. Just like when I did that storage facility in the beginning, that was way out of my league. Baby steps, I asked questions, the snowball got bigger and bigger and bigger. Fast forward, 15 years later, here I am getting ready to develop this private island. You want to talk about a building series? Follow me as we start settling, demoing, repairing, renovating, and then building 40 more units. Stay tuned.